Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 11, text number 29. Tamenam angatmani mukta vigrahe vipashritam nirgunam ekamaksharam atmanam anvicham vimuktam atmadreg yasminnidam bhedam asapratiyate. My dear translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Dhruva, please therefore turn your attention to the Supreme Person who is the infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Personality Godhead in your original position, and thus by self-realization you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. Purport. The living entities have three kinds of vision according to their position in self-realization. According to the bodily concept of life, one sees differentiation in terms of varieties of bodies. The living entity actually passes through many varieties of material forms. But despite all such changes of body, he is eternal. When the living entities therefore are viewed in the bodily concept of life, one appears to be different from another. Lord Manu wanted to exchange the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, wanted to change the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, who was looking upon the yakshas as different from him or as his enemies. Factually, no one is an enemy or friend. Everyone is passing through different types of bodies under the law of karma. But as soon as one is situated in his spiritual identity, he does not see differentiation in terms of this law. In other words, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochiti na kankshati samha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. A devotee who is already liberated does not see differentiation in terms of outward body. He sees all the living entities as spirit souls, eternal servants of the Lord. Dhruva Maharaj was advised by Lord Manu to see with that vision. He was specifically advised to do so because he was a great devotee and should not have looked upon other living entities with ordinary vision. Indirectly, Manu pointed out to Dhruva Maharaj that out of material affection, Dhruva thought of his brother as his kin and the yakshas as his enemies. Such observation of differentiation subsides as one is situated in his original position as the eternal servant of the Lord. So the preaching of Swayambhuva Manu continues for Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, even at a very young age as a child, he was blessed with the transcendental darshan of the Lord by the mercy of his spiritual master Narada Rishi. However, Narada Rishi advised him later on. He did not tell him this is the end of your spiritual journey. Narada Rishi's spiritual master advised him, continue your sadhana seriously and become completely pure. Because you came to the Lord with a material desire. And now you have seen the Lord by this transcendental attraction. You have to begin to give up all material conception of life. And this is what here Swayambhuva Manu is speaking to Narada Rishi. Swayambhuva Manu is speaking to Dhruva Maharaj on behalf of Narada Rishi, who is a spiritual master. But Swayambhuva Manu is telling nothing different from what Narada Rishi told him, that you pursue your spiritual life, sadhana, as per my instruction. So very much part of the Narada's instruction was to completely engage in devotional service of the Lord and not get entangled into this material things. So here Swayambhuva Manu is telling that, bringing a very important point. You turn your attention to the Supreme Person, who is the infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Lord in your original position. That means relate with Him in your original position. And thus by self-realization, as the servant of Krishna, servant of the Lord in the heart, you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. And Prabhupada begins the purport, stating that the living entities have three kinds of vision according to their position of self-realization. And these three kinds of vision is touched upon in Srimad Bhagavatam throughout. When somebody is in Brahman realization, he has got one vision of everything. When one is in Paramatma realization, then he has another kind of vision of existence. And when one has Bhagavan realization, then he has got most expanded vision of Krishna consciousness. All these are positions of self-realization. That's why Prabhupada said three kinds of vision according to their position in self-realization. We're not talking about the karmi's vision. Living entities have those who are not practicing Krishna consciousness, they have only one vision about the self. It's all about the self and the world. Their vision is, I am this body, everybody else is their bodies. And this world is full of all the people's bodily egos, full of relationship, and all the living entities, my goal is to enjoy. This is a default vision of all living entities in this material world, until a time when he gets the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord, who changes his vision that this is not the goal of life. Goal of life is to understand that you are part and parcel of Krishna, you are not matter, you are spirit. You have to engage in His service in your constitutional position, service activities and not sense gratificatory activities, not activities that will earn you power, earn you knowledge, earn you love, pleasure, without reference to Krishna. This will only lead to suffering, an illusion that these things are really available here in this material world. So, let's keep aside that materialistic vision or the vision of those who have not yet got the shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord. So the other three visions. Vision means perception. How you perceive, who you think you are, what you think this world is, what is my relationship with this world. This is fundamental life perceptions. Unless our perception about this self is dealt with, then that process is not called the process of self-realization. On so many different things we have got different kinds of vision or perception. That perception is not what we are talking about. Everybody has got perception about people, about things, about situation of life, of what is the purpose of activities. All this perception everybody has got. Without perception, man cannot live. Materialists also have vision. Vision is required, perception is required. Because depending upon your perception, your feeling changes. According to feeling change, your behavior also change. So when there is an existential perception, according to that existential perception, your existential feelings also are generated. Based on the type of existential feelings, your existential behavior also comes. What is the karmi's existential feeling? Your existential identity. What is it is I am this body. Existential perception, I am the body, will produce feelings to gratify the body, gratify the bodily ego. Will produce behavior or action to engage in fulfilling those feelings of sense gratification. So, where is the starting point? The starting point is perception. So, as spiritualists, we are always endeavoring and focusing to get the right perception, true perception of things, as per Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So Guru, Sadhu and Shastra say that you are not this body. Even I am this body, you have no logic, you are just born in it and you are just default perception, that's all. You have never questioned. We never question whether I am this body or not. So first, our attention should be on Brahmavadis ask this question and come to the conclusion that I am not this body. And their vision is what? Okay, everybody else is not their bodies. Material nature is different, spiritual nature, spirit is different, matter is different. Bas, it ends there, nirguna. The next type of vision is to understand that everything is not Brahman, but there is Parabrahman who is pervading all Brahman, who is within and without of everything in existence. So there is Parabrahman, there is a Supreme Being, there is a Supreme Eternal. I am tiny eternal. I am maintained by Him. Not a blade of grass moves without His sanction. So the immanent aspect of the Lord means what is the Lord doing in everywhere, in everybody's life, everything. That is Paramatma realization. What is the role of Krishna in everybody's life, in devotee's life, karmi's life? So realization of the presence of the Lord in our heart and Lord in everybody's heart as a Paramatma. As Krishna says, Ye tamam prapadyante tam sthite bhajami. Mama vartmanu vartante. Everybody is following my path. Everybody, in other words, he says, everybody is under my scheme. The spiritual world, material world, whatever it may be. I am the Supreme Being. Everybody is under the scheme. I have my purposes, I have my interest, I have my plans, I have my desires. As Parabrahman, entire existence is moving according. So Krishna consciousness, first stage is to understand how the Supreme Lord is the Suhrut, the good friend of all living entities. So that is the next stage of vision. The vision of the material world as it is, and realizing that it is flickering in nature. It is a perverted reflection of the real spiritual world, this material world. And what is the reason for this material world? So understanding how things work with Krishna as a center in this material world, that is a second type of vision. And the third type of vision is to understand Krishna, who is the source of even Paramatma, who is the source of Mahavishnu, who is the source of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, who is the source of all living entities, who is the source of the material and spiritual worlds. So going beyond the Paramatma Leela of the Lord, of nothing but saying that I am part and parcel of Krishna. That's my eternal occupation. So that transcendental perception of understanding even the source of Paramatma as Krishna, and that is the further vision. Now in these three types of basic perception of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, the way we perceive other people, other souls are different. In the case of Brahmavadis, they just see as, I have no connection with matter, spirit has no connection with matter. Aham Brahmasmi. And any variegatedness, including activity, ego, is all, by saying neti neti, they try to forget that I have any individuality, I have any gunas, any. But what is our understanding of Brahman? He is an eternal servant of Krishna. He is an eternal person, not an impersonal nirguna energy with no individuality, no me, no God. No. I am eternal. I am eternally me. A part of Krishna. Krishna also sees me eternally as an eternal part. Now we have forgotten, we are thinking I am this body and I am part of this material situation. That's not us at all. So here it is, Swayambhuva Manu is talking about the differentiation, Bhedam, as Asat. It's a very important point that the living entities, as they advance in devotion service, their perception of people changes. So mistaking that he is different from me because of this material body is different. We have to transcend that perception. I am different, you are different at a spiritual level as a unique part and parcel of the Lord. This differentiation based on body is, this differentiation of individuals based on that body is a false differentiation to create a false world in this mind. This person, that person, this person. In the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, one who is in Sattva-guna, his perception of different identities due to different bodies vanishes. There is no difference in identity between your body, my body, your body, everybody. Hey, all bodies are same. There is only one identity, material energy. There is only one energy, one material body. He looks different, he looks different, he looks different. That individuality is there, no? That is Rajasic individuality, Rajasic perception. And others, as bodies go, we have to see each living entity as described in the scriptures as a forgotten soul, the soul who is a person who is eternal servant of Krishna. First of all, we should start looking at ourselves like that. Who am I? There is I and there is non-I. There is a false I. Right? There is I and there is a false I. Now, who am I? Temporarily, I may be thinking I am false I. But who am I actually? That means what is the soul? What is the soul is the real I. Real I is a pure devotee of the Lord. So eternal servant of Krishna. So this whole process of self-realization is to awaken that. But before you awaken that, first philosophically we should understand that I am, this impurity is covering me, this impurity is influencing me, but I am not impure. Soul is Krishna's property. Soul is spirit. Spirit, through his consciousness, is creating illusion of I am this body and bodily life. Just like after you realize that, oh my God, now I understand I am Krishna's servant. That time you'll say, oh, how foolish. When Prabhupada says about devotees having, those who are in self-realization, having different kinds of vision. Dhruva Maharaj was looking upon yakshas as different from him or as his enemies. Materially different he was thinking, they are not materially different. Materially everything is one. The soul is taking these material differences and saying that I am this body, you are that body, and all these things. Otherwise, all material energy. In fact, then there is man and woman. Then there is man and woman. All differentiation comes. Man and woman relationship. Father-mother relationship. Children, father, all based on this different material differentiation. So, by associating with the holy name through sadhana bhakti, the Sat aspect of the living entity, that I am eternal, Chit aspect of the living entity, that I am part and parcel of the Supreme Eternal, and Ananda aspect of that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. These three things are our constitutional Sat, Chit and Ananda. And in this material world, all three fundamental things, Asat, I am this body, is Asat. I am independent, Achit. Energy, it's an energy, spiritual energy. That's why Prabhupada says these books, if you just keep also, it is like DT. Further, if you have realization that this is spiritual energy, then your way in which you look at it and relate with it will be something else. So the quick part of self-realization is to continuously be in touch with holy name, deities, Bhagavatam, Vaishnavas, and service to the holy name, service to spiritual master. Our preaching is actually service to the spiritual master. Who are we preachers? Prabhupada is a preacher. Our preaching is personal service to Srila Prabhupada. What he preached, we are preaching. So in this mood we practice devotion service. Just like Narada Rishi gave Dhruva Maharaj instruction how to practice Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada has given us exactly in the same way. For us, it is not that, these are ancient times and their different yugas and, Dhruva Maharaj and Narada Rishi. Exactly what happened in those has been summarized, the essence of which as practical devotion service Prabhupada has given us to this modern world. So it is possible that by the process of bhakti that Srila Prabhupada has asked us to do, it is possible for us to completely change the way we see the world, the way we see each other. We see everything with Shastra Chakshus, the eyes of the Shastras. And then there is no material differentiation. Such a person is constantly absorbed in Viveka. Viveka means spiritual discrimination, matter, spirit. These are all material varieties. Falsely I am creating material variety. I am Mr. So-and-so, he is Mr. So-and-so. It's a temporary reality, no doubt. It's a temporary reality. Anything temporary that doesn't last is called illusion. Energy is true. Body is true. All bodies are true, they are not illusion. Understand this differentiation. They are not illusion. I am the body is illusion. Body is outside you. It's a reality, it's a material energy, body here, body here. So that's why you take out this I am the body, you see all bodies. Ananda, mercy from the Harinaman. Most powerful of all these is the most merciful, most powerfully effective, and therefore most merciful is the Nama Avatara, Nama incarnation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You don't have to go through the process of jnanic process at all. Jnana will shine forth. We'll see things as they are. And not this body will be seen as a fact. It's a fact. Every living entity is helpless without super soul. Will be seen as a matter of fact. Their preliminary knowledge of entire existence is given in Bhagavad Gita. That's why those 5 things, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, is described by Prabhupada as an introduction, a summary of the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So we develop perception of what is Prakriti, what is Karma, what is Ishvara, what is Jiva, what is Kala. Any questions? First role play is I am this body. Then within that you are extending. I am the body. Now you are my father, you are my mother. Further role play. In drama, if you have one role, you will play differently, no? You play as, with the father you have to play as a son. With your son you have to play as a father. Is it not? So multiple roles are there. Our life is full of multiple role plays. Center around one basic false role play is I am this body. Simply shift that I am this body to I am spirit ego, servant of Krishna. Then you can continue your role play. So role play thinking I am the body is ignorant. Role play thinking that I am eternal servant of Krishna, I will create unlimited role plays with so many jivas, as many as I can, as a servant of Krishna, and preach to them. No harm, role play. You are sitting in a transcendent, you are operating from a transcendental platform. This life, yes, body comes, body goes. Next life, another body, yes, another role play. I am always servant of Krishna in whichever body I am. This body or that body. Therefore it is said that the devotee who understands this, he does not bother whether, the service is back to Godhead or whether service is here. It does not matter. Because the root self-identification is as the servant of the Lord. Yeah, question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, regarding the 3 visions of realization, Brahman realization, if he is successful, he will merge in the impersonal Brahman. And the devotee, he will become the associate of the Lord. Then what is the destination of the yogi who is meditating on Paramatma realization? Paramatma feature of the Lord.
Same thing, he will have realization of Ashta Siddhis he will get, because this material world, he get connected to he is meditating always on Krishna as the Supreme Param Ishvara. So siddhis are all like, whatever the, and then that is why it is said that there is no guarantee that you have Paramatma realization. If you don't give up your material disease of independent enjoyment, you will take birth again and again as a devotee of the Lord. You may become demigod. Demigods are all representative of the Lord in this material world. But those representatives are not pure representatives like pure devotee. They want their perks. Indra, all like this, all these devatas, they want their perks. Pure devotee does not want any perks. Free from any material desires. Pure devotees operate in their constitutional position as an eternal servant of Krishna. With Paramatma realization, it still doesn't become constitutional position. Unless by association, gradually by Paramatma himself continuously functions, relates with the devotee as Chaitya Guru, and then makes him aware of his ultimate constitutional position, not his position in this material world as as servant of the Lord in my heart. Servant of the Lord in my heart, you may think, still in the material context. Okay, in this, my life, I have a lot of problems in my life. Oh, Krishna will help me. These are all at Paramatma realization. So, Paramatma realization is very important. That's where you develop understanding of myself as a tiny part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is the Supreme. So, one should not undermine Paramatma realization. Just like Prabhupada says, according to your realization, Krishna will reciprocate. When we worship Radha Krishna deity, then the service is received as Lakshmi Narayana. That too, if you follow the Vaidhi, the Vidhi that is given by the spiritual master. But as far as spiritual master is concerned, he is seeing the same Radha and Krishna. They are receiving his worship in his spontaneous platform, not as Lakshmi Narayana, same Radha Krishna Chandra. He and his energies, he and his expansions. So the yogis, they went in search of the all-powerful. The supreme powerful, Parameshwara. And then they have darshan of the Lord. In a way you can see, even he is like a yogi, Dhruva. But that didn't make him a pure devotee. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day we chant. First of all, this is all spirit. Oh, the Nama. So that is Brahman realization of that mantra. This mantra is not matter, it is spirit. That is Brahman realization of matter. You have that faith and you chant that this is not matter, material sound. That is Brahman realization. So it refers to Radha and Krishna. All are correct. Hyderabad, Prabhupada was asked, some outsiders asked Prabhupada, this Rama in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is it Balarama or is it Lord Ramachandra? So Prabhupada says both. You want Rama, is Rama. You want Lord Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra will be present. You want Balarama, he will be present.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Dandavat Prabhu. Prabhu, there is a trending movie called Kantara.
Movie called?
Kantara. So he'd say some God power has come to a person and he says something and everybody will listen to it. Not only in that movie, they have talked about this, but in some villages I have observed that there is some a goddess Durga incarnation. The God comes into their body and they start reacting abnormally. So is it like, do we need to believe that is really God is entering into their body?
Yeah.
If someone say like, how do you judge about this, matter?
Rakshasas can come into your body. Why Rakshasas? Your own father, mother, relatives who are attached to you after their death, they can come into your and harass you. That is why they say that, you see, all the dead people's photo you should not keep at home. Gratitude to Pitru means Pitru gone, he's gone. To that Atma your gratitude. Not you have to again tie him down with a picture there. He has to get detached from that picture, no? He was never that body. So now you're keeping him in that body. Poor soul. You have to facilitate, that's why we burn the body. Or in Hindu culture, we burn the body. So that the soul is gone, it's gone. Because attachment is there, subtle body is there. In subtle body, all these attachments are there. That chapter should be closed, so therefore burning. Why sannyasis are not burned, why they are buried? Their subtle body has no identification with the body. That is why. Ordinary people should be burnt. Sannyasis, Paramahamsa should be buried. So these are all very much possible. Hundreds of millions. There are so many mystical things, materially mystical things. Believing in it or believing not, we don't know anything about that. How this material world operates at the subtle level. We have no idea at all. In India, the tradition was there, all this mysticism, and which is all not lies, it is all a fact. We are limiting ourselves to Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are limiting ourselves to Vishnu, we are limiting ourselves to creation, our purpose of existence, etc. That is Bhagavatam. That is Bhagavatam. So many other Upavedas are there. It's all coming from the Vedas only. And sub-Vedas. Demigod worship. How Durga will come into your body. There may not be Durga, how many Durgas are there? Just like so many, all these tattvas, they have so many expansions. So, your Kula Devata will come. By some name you will call that Kula Devata. You know it is Durga, but it will some Devi. We are away from all that. But it is a fact. To oversimplify the material world like the scientists see and say that these things are all not true is not correct. Scientists don't know anything. Their knowledge ends with the gross body, over. You ask the scientists, what is mind made up of? They don't know. Do you have a mind? Yes. But what is your mind? What is it made up of? He will say, this gross body is some chemical, suddenly mind came out. That chemical reaction stopped, mind also stopped. So death is death. What is intelligence? Artificial intelligence, brain. You scoop out some portion of the brain, you will see that you have lost that intelligence. So therefore, where is intelligence? In the brain. False logic. Another question.
Harish Prabhu. So in Sikshashtakam, Nam Akarita Bauddha Nija Sarva Shakti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you have invested all your energies on your name. You have hundreds and millions of names. So even though somebody may chanting other mantra related to Lord Vishnu's name or Lord Krishna's name, but they have the same potency, but they may have the different destination. Like we chant Hare Krishna mantra, our destination is a Goloka. But those who chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or other mantras, their destination will differ. Is it like that, Prabhu, or how it is?
Yeah. Somebody is unlimited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that in unlimited names of the Lord. There are unlimited names of the Lord. And in each of those names, Lord's unlimited Shakti is Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So if somebody is chanting Om Namo Narayana, then all Shaktis of Narayana is in that. But Krishna's Prema Bhakti Shakti will not be in that. All the Aishwarya Rasa Shakti will be there in that Nama. Om Namo Narayana. It's Krishna only. Krishna only. Different aspects of Krishna. Like Prabhupada gives example of Prime Minister at home, Prime Minister at office, Prime Minister in a function, different. The same way, God at home is Govinda Adi Purusha in Goloka Vrindavan. In a different type of a home, in Vaikuntha. Like that, different roles are there. At home, the grandchild of the Prime Minister will climb on his shoulders and play. And the grandfather will kneel down, okay, sit. He'll go. He's a Prime Minister. For rasa with his grandchild. He'll also act. Come sit on me. This is Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. He is everything. So same thing is applicable to mantras also, Nama. Because Nama is not different from Krishna. You cannot chant Narayana, Narayana, Narayana and say that I will develop bhakti, I'll develop love for, particular love for Krishna's rasa as a cowherd boy. In Krishna himself saying, if you want to come this way, come this way. You want to come this way as Narayana, come with me, I am Narayana. If you come this way, I am Govinda. You come this way, I am Paramatma. Like that. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.